Welcome to the NZ Travel Show. We are the team behind NZ Pocket Guide, New Zealand's largest travel guide. My name is Robin and this is Laura.
In today's NZ Travel Show, you guys are going to ask your questions about travelling in New Zealand directly to us. So you can plan the best itinerary and plan an awesome holiday to New Zealand. But if you can't make it to the show live, however, you can put your questions in the comments section of any of our videos and we'll pull those together so we can answer those for you during the next live session. We also have thousands of travel guides and travel tips on nzpocketguide.com, so make sure to go check that out. But in the meantime, let's see what the live chat has for us today.
All right, so it starts with somebody very excited to use the NZDT for a trip to New Zealand. I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that. Then we have Nathan Bates. What is Nathan saying?
Nathan says, Kia ora, good morning, Laura and Robin. Kia ora. It looks like you are having a special guest next week for the live stream.
Indeed, we do. We will talk about that in literally a minute. We're just going to say hi to everybody that's showing up. And yeah, for sure, we'll talk about that. There's even a video at the ready for you guys.
Yeah. We have Extreme Talauta saying, Morena guys, how are we? We are very good, thank you. How are you? And for those of you that don't know, Morena means good morning in the Maori language, also known as Te Reo Maori. We also have Sander De Vries saying, morning guys, how are you?
We're doing very well. We are waiting for summer to start any time now. It has been raining for the last 2 days. It's kind of like, yep, it's summer now. Time to get it started with the sun and the happiness. Thank you. Thank you, whenever you guys are ready.
We also have Anthony saying, Morena from Rodeo, California.
Hey, Anthony, how are you doing?
Tamo, is saying good evening, smiley face.
And Anthony and Tamo are both our Patreon, which is awesome. So thank you guys.
We also have Toby Jenkins, who looks like he's from England, saying Kia ora, guys.
What makes you tell that he's from England?
I don't know. Maybe something to do with his user image or whatever you say, whatever that user image is called.
Cool. Okay, so the one thing that I have for you guys at the moment is that we do have a poll in the live chat right now if you want to participate. The question is simple. Have you ever received anything from New Zealand? And the reason why I am asking is because, well, I am writing a postcard for Talmo, which is one of our Patreon, and as a pledge to get a postcard. So here you go. He really likes the redwood forest in Rotorua, I'm pretty sure. So here you go.
Spoiler alert for Talmo.
Yeah. So, kia ora, Talmo. Laura and I are wishing you a wonderful holiday season all the way from New Zealand, where summer will start anytime now. Keep being awesome, Robin and Laura. Here you go. We're sending in that postcard. It's going to be in the mail tomorrow. So if you guys feel like supporting what we're doing and you can afford to join us on Patreon, there is heaps of awesome perks. So first up, your name will be on screen like it is right now. You see, Tamo here is one of our producers, and we also have some supporters. We have David, we have Fabio, we have Joey, and we have Anthony. It's pretty awesome to hang out with us on a Patreon. You have access to a secret Facebook group where you can share some of the stuff that you want to ask us about New Zealand. Also, Tamo shared some cookies he made. Look at those gingerbread cookies.
They look so good. That
is pretty awesome. So yeah, it's a bunch of awesome people hanging out together, talking about traveling in New Zealand. It's a really fun community. But yeah, there is also some PDF travel guides. There is some extra live session. We do an extra hour every single week. We help you plan your trip. Actually, during the next live session, we're actually working on Tamo's trip as well. There's a lot of notes for him and much more. There's even one pledge where you get to hang out one-on-one with us if you want some really hands-on help to plan your trip. Anyway, consider it. There is a link in the description below, and yeah, we'd really appreciate having you guys on board. In the meantime, let's go back to the live chat.
So we have Anthony saying that in reply to the poll, I'm guessing, a postcard and a passport cover from you guys. That's what I received from New Zealand. Hey.
That's true. Anthony did win one of the giveaway that we did quite a while ago. And yeah, send him some parcels.
We have Torsif saying Kia ora Kia orana from Pakistan.
Kia orana is actually the way to greet people in the Cook Islands, not in New Zealand. In New Zealand, it's Kia ora. So yeah. Just so you know, a tidbit of information right here. What is Joey saying? Joey, another one of our Patreon.
Yes, Joey says, Kia ora, good morning, fam. We are all part of the fam now.
Yeah.
Cool. And we have Tamo saying, since when did you call your live chat NZ Travel Show?
Since today, we just decided to change the thumbnail, change the name of it. Just you know, sometimes we just like to keep things fresh. So literally, we just decided about 3 hours ago to change that. And because Laura really liked the logo that I did for the next couple of live sessions. So yeah, we decided to change the name.
Yeah.
Do you guys like it? I should have done that.
That should have been the poll today.
Yeah.
Oh well, Tamo then says, "Oh, redwoods."
Yeah,
Glad you like that, Tamo.
I noticed that you had twice the redwoods on your itinerary, so I was like, you know what? I think you may like that. So I went and got you a postcard of the redwoods. Okay, Tosif says, how are you guys? We're doing really well again. Very frustrated not to have the summer weather just yet. Our neighbor is waiting for summer to do barbecue, and I want my damn first barbecue of the year, and I'm still waiting for it, and that's killing me. So yeah, aside from that, absolutely fantastic, brilliant. How are you doing this morning? I mean, it's morning for us. It's 8 a.m. in the morning, but yeah, how are you doing, Tosif? What is Sally saying?
Sally says, good morning. It's very cold, wet and windy here in the UK. Hope the summer arrives for you soon.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Sally, I bet you have liked all the videos that we posted today, this week on the channel. We have all about penguins, and I know you asked about penguins, but yeah, it was Maori blue penguins,
yes.
and then the best spot to see penguins. So I think it was all about Sally this week.
Yeah,
it was all about penguins.
Penguin week last week.
Yeah.
This week, yes.
Penguin week on NZ Pocket Guide.
We have Clay saying "Morning all" with a handshake there.
And surprisingly, we are 7 minutes in, and Clay is still sober. So
yeah.
Look at that. That's working for you, mate.
I'm sure we can make that changed as the live session goes on. We have a Torsif saying, I just wanted to ask you, what are the chances to open the visa service of New Zealand outside of New Zealand? I mean, in other countries for visitors.
So at the moment, New Zealand immigration is heavily restricting. I don't know if you saw a lot of the news, but they have closed a lot of the overseas offices and all these kind of things. So at this stage, I think they're going to really try to streamline their processes, and I think most of the visa services and therefore all the offices are mainly going to be run from New Zealand until things change dramatically. So I think that at this stage, it is likely that pretty much all the visa services are going to be operating from New Zealand. Obviously, those are speculation. There is no official news, but it's just kind of reading in between the line of what is currently happening.
We have a Pooja Devgan saying, I have received lots and lots of love from New Zealand, courtesy of my boyfriend living there, waiting for the borders to reopen so I can see him soon.
Nice. So so far, we only have 44% of people that received something from New Zealand and 56% that received nothing. You guys need to start doing online shopping on New Zealand retailers. You'll receive something from New Zealand. But you can also join us on Patreon, by the way. We'll send you some postcard. It's a lot of fun. What else do we have? Tosif.
Have Tosif saying, yes, I spoke last week to someone in the Cook Islands, so I learnt the words Kia orana.
Here you go. Yeah, nice. The Cook Islands is a really awesome place to visit. What's B+N saying?
B+N says, good morning.
So B+N are having a little bit of a problem, just so you know. I've noticed that this week. They keep on commenting on our videos, and I think they're adding way too many things to their itineraries.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm filling up your bucket list way too much with that that series of videos called the 101 Best Things to New Zealand. So yeah, they're having a bit of an itinerary issues right here.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, this week you did the 101.
Yes, I did.
Is it coming up? You've got 30 to 40.
Yeah, coming up we have 31 to 40. So yeah, we are getting to the really, really good stuff, guys. So make sure to check those out and share them around as well. Again, put a lot of work behind it, and no one's watching it.
Except for
Very sad
B&N.
day. Yeah, B+N, yeah, for sure. I was watching every single time. A nice little comments. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah. Joey says, I have a fish hook, whalebone blessed in a marae, traditional Maori home. Probably misspelled everything. Well, yeah, kind of a little bit, but we got there. We knew what you meant.
Cool. Did you carve it yourself, or did you buy it already carved? Because there's a lot of different tools where you can actually carve them yourself, which is kind of cool, and things that a lot of tourists are enjoying doing it. So yeah, and also Joey, share a picture of it on the Facebook group, on our secret Facebook group. That'd be cool. I'm pretty sure everybody would like to see that, like all the Patreon.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, if you guys want to actually see videos of us carving our own, we've carved greenstone on 2 different occasions, and we've also carved bone as well into a Maori pendant. We do have videos of us doing that experience here on the channel, so go check those out. We've done it greenstone carving in Hokitika, so you can search that up on YouTube. You can also search jade carving in Stewart Island with the Rakiura jade, so check that out as well. And we did bone carving in Punakaiki, Barrytown area on the west coast with the skeleton bone carving crew, so check that out.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I did really enjoy that. All right, where are we at? We are Adil.
Adil says, Kia ora, Robin and Laura. I would like to know, what is the Aoraki Mackenzie International Dark Sky Reserve on the South Island all about? And is it wheelchair accessible?
So the Aoraki Mount Cook Dark Sky Reserve is basically a big area where there is some different regulation which basically states what kind of building you can build and what kind of light you can emit at night in order to preserve optimum visibility for the starry nights and for research into like space programs and all this kind of thing. So that's basically what it is all about. For a tourist, from a tourist point of view, that Dark Sky Reserve, what it means is that basically you will have optimum and amazing stargazing experiences when you come to this area of New Zealand, and making it for like absolutely fantastic night skies. You have also some really awesome tools over there that you can partake on, which will have all the equipment. You can see us on the channel doing at least 2 of those. Sorry. So yeah, as a tourist, that's really cool, and that allows you to be able to see a lot of stuff. Like there is the tour in the Mount John Observatory, for example, where you literally go inside those big dome telescope and you actually get to use those things to see all those planets and stuff. It's really, really cool. And then obviously the footage that we have doesn't do it justice because
it's hard to film the night sky sometimes.
Yeah, and also we're not professional films things, right? So yes, that's really awesome. Now, is it wheelchair accessible? Well, many places over there are wheelchair accessible, and you can look up and enjoy the sky. For the Mount John Dark Reserve stargazing tour, sorry, is it wheelchair accessible?
So I think the aspect of the tours that may not be 100% wheelchair accessible if you can't get out your wheelchair, if you don't, if it's not like a light wheelchair that you can fold up and bring onto the bus, because you take bus transport up to the observatory. And it's also the same if you're doing a stargazing tour in Mount Cook. They take a bus to go to their stargazing area. So usually that bus travel part is where you can, by all means, if you are able to get on the bus yourself and, fold up a wheelchair and put that on the bus, then it's accessible, but it's not like it's like for heavy wheelchairs where it has like a lift or anything. They don't usually have that sort of facility. So but maybe there possibly would be a workaround if that was the situation and you had your own sort of wheelchair accessible vehicles, and you could probably follow the bus, work that out with the tour company. That's how it would become wheelchair accessible, because otherwise there aren't really, there's not really steps or anything. It's usually on a flat, once you get to the area, it's a flat area. And I would actually say that possibly the Mount Cook stargazing tour, which departs from is it Heritage? The Heritage Hotel, that definitely takes you onto like a really flat tarmacked area where they have powerful telescopes which they can set to each set for people looking into. Whereas I actually think at the Mount John Observatory, for the big dome telescopes, from what I can remember, you sort of then go and sit onto a chair which is under the telescope, and you do have to be able to, transfer yourself onto another chair perhaps to do the telescope observing there. So yeah, my instinct tells me that perhaps the big sky stargazing, that's what the tour's called at Mount Cook, would be more wheelchair accessible than the Mount John Observatory tour. That's just my instinct. But of course, as always, as you know, Adil, which we say all the time, get in touch with the company and see what they can do for you, because you might be surprised they can actually do quite a lot to help.
All right. Sorry for the buffering while Laura was talking. I think I successfully solved this. Let us know, obviously, if it starts buffering along the way. Okay, so that was the great question from Adil. Then we also have to Siv that says that it's good to know that we are fine. He's doing well as well. So happy all around. I enjoy that. We also have Sally, which says that she's very happy about all the penguin videos. She loves penguins, as we know. We definitely know you do like penguins, Sally.
Yeah, we love penguins too.
What is Nathan saying?
Nathan says, I enjoy learning about what the White Island tour in what it was like to experience White Island.
So we did release a video yesterday about what was it like to tour White Island. We know that nowadays it's not available as a tour anymore due to the tragedy that happened a few years back. So I thought I'd show you guys what it was like, so like that you can kind of at least virtually visit it and see what that very special place was like. Moving on to Aditya. Aditya says, when will the mandatory MIQ end? So the MIQ as it is right now will end on the 30th of April 2022, and we will move to a self-isolation system. In all honesty, right? There is a lot of faff about the fact that, there is not going to be any more MIQ and everything. The fact that you have to self-isolate for 7 days anyway is very akin, very similar to what the MIQ system is. So there is still, for the foreseeable future, going to be MIQ. Post 30th of April 2022, there will be some isolation required. That will be 7 days self-isolation, and that has no end in sight. So that means that the New Zealand government hasn't said when this program, when this requirement will end. And for this reason, we kind of still consider that taking a trip to New Zealand is still not necessarily super available until quite a wee while.
Correct me if I'm not saying, if you disagree with me when I sort of make this comparison, but maybe like the sort of when MIQ actually ends, it's more going to be like, instead of the government organising your quarantine, you have to organise your own quarantine for 7 days when you get to New Zealand. So I feel like that's kind of like the main way to sort of compare it.
No, that's basically what it is, cool. So we have Kaylo. Kaylo is here. How is she doing? How is Kaylo doing?
Kaylo says, hi guys, probably not what you meant, but I've bought New Zealand butter and honey from my local grocery store.
Yeah, you know what? That cannot count. That cannot count.
It had to be delivered to the grocery store, so that was pretty much delivered to you, right? You are who it's for.
Yes. So here you go. That works. Yeah. Next up.
We also have, here we go. Sri Devi Nair, sorry for butchering people's names, but he or she says, hi guys.
Yeah, that continues here.
You guys both are rocking the everyday on your show. I've to ask you, is the immigration office open in New Zealand?
So at this stage, Immigration New Zealand doesn't accept new application, and we'll keep you up to date if things change for now. But at this stage, not yet. What is Tosif saying? Going back up.
Tosif says, good to see you guys before going to sleep. It's 12:10 a.m. in Pakistan. Keep rocking.
Every time I hear people telling me how late they're watching us, you guys have to go to bed.
Now, it is very inconvenient times being this far down south in the world. That does mean that we have to do this kind of... we try and make it work for most people, but it's always an inconvenient time living in New Zealand where...
But before you fall asleep, to Steve, make sure to hit the like button. YouTube is just telling me right now to ask you guys to hit the like button. So if you feel like hitting that button, thinking that we're doing something useful, you may want to do that. What is Joey saying?
Joey says, I didn't carve it, just purchased it. I definitely feel part of the culture and family. Far now. Probably misspelled that too.
Wow.
I'm on fire this morning.
I cannot believe you actually... I was wondering what you wrote. I wasn't sure. That was really good, Laura.
Yeah.
Wow. But definitely well misspelled.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's okay. We know that we probably mispronounce a lot of your guys' names on here, and that's just all part of the travel experience, really. You go around the world mispronouncing every place that you go to, everyone you meet. It's part of the, it's a cultural experience, and you can't get it right all the time.
And I just put on screen how to spell whanau, which means family in the Maori language. So if you guys are interested. in knowing how to spell this. Here you go. It is right on your screen right now.
It's a handy little tool you've got there.
I know. Look at that. Look at that, guys. We're moving up in the world. All right. I'm going to remove it and moving on to the next
We have
comment.
Adil saying, thank you very much. Sounds really cool. My wheelchair is foldable, so I think I'll be able to do the tours. Excellent. Yeah, good to hear. We have Violet Zulu saying, morning guys. Today I won't be able to watch live because of load shedding.
Load shedding? What is load shedding, Violet? I'm quite interested in that word.
Interesting. But then if you can't watch the live show, I guess maybe we'll never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn, cliffhanger.
Kelo is saying that she's doing very well. Can you believe it's Saturday in California? Yes, I can. This is how time works. If it's Sunday for us, it is Saturday for you.
I know.
But sass aside, what I can't believe, right, is that we're already that close to Christmas. I mean, I cannot believe the end of the year is already there. I feel like it's flown by. I don't know. Did you guys realize, how quickly that year went? Or was it slow and painful for you all? Because I know last year was slow and painful, right?
Yeah.
Because of this, that's when COVID really hit and everything. But this year, damn, it went really, 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 really fast for me. So
it's going faster for us than you guys in the Northern Hemisphere because we are actually closer to Christmas. It's Sunday and like Kalo said, Saturday in California. So technically, we are getting closer to Christmas.
And that means that Kalo is one step closer to her trip.
Indeed.
Here you go. All right. Then she says she's so looking forward to 2022. So am I. So am I.
Aren't we all?
Things are finally going to change in 2022. I believe it.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
So we have Sri Devi, sorry, I keep pronouncing the names really badly, saying, thank you so much. I'm from India. It's 12:50 a.m.
Why are people not sleeping?
Because they're watching our show, of course.
And there is 5 people that did hit the like button when I asked. So thank you to each and every single one of you. I can't see the name of who clicked like, but you know who you are. And you know you're awesome. Here you go.
We have Violet Zulu saying, morning guys, today I won't be... Oh yeah, she already put that.
Yep.
Load shedding here in Silverton, Pretoria.
So in South Africa.
Yeah, hope I did not miss a lot already. I love you guys. Keep up the good work. But still, we don't know what
is load shedding?
They're teasing us.
That's the mystery, Violet.
Yeah. Sorry. Did you want to read the next one?
Nathan says, I can't believe it's getting so close to Christmas. Yeah, it is really close to Christmas. Also, I do appreciate all the emojis. You guys are going nuts on emojis today. I do like it.
It does liven up the live chat.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And Siley is asking you something, Laura. How do you guys celebrate Christmas?
Well, we have celebrated Christmas a few different ways over the past few years, but last year and hopefully again this year, if we manage to make it happen with all our peers, is going to the lake.
All the pips?
Yeah.
All the pips?
So we live around Lake Taupo, which is the largest lake in New Zealand. It's in the centre of the North Island. And it's so big and it has so many different amazing little bays and stuff you can go to. And as many of you guys probably already know, when it's Christmas in New Zealand, it is summer as well. So we kind of do summery things. We go down to the lake and have a nice big sort of picnic and, maybe have a swim if we're feeling brave enough, because sometimes it's still pretty cold. But go have a swim, hang out with some nice people, and that's probably what we're going to be doing again this year, hopefully, because I really enjoyed it last year and I want to do it again. But yeah, other times we've done Christmas on the beach. Actually, guys, you can check out what we did on YouTube. We have a video of one time when we were doing New Zealand's biggest gap year, where we did 365 days of 365 activities in New Zealand, and of course, during those 365 days, there was Christmas somewhere in there. And yeah, we went to the beach in Christchurch and we had a picnic on the beach. And yeah, so that's another thing that we did, and you can go check us actually doing that on video on YouTube. So if you're interested, check that out.
And we do have a video coming up this week with the best way to spend Christmas in New Zealand. So here you go. Check it out. It's coming up. I think it's Wednesday our time, so therefore for you probably Tuesday. I'm terrible at live understanding the different time zones that you guys are living into. So yeah, Anthony Comstock is chatting to Kalo and he's like, Kalo, where are you from in California? He is from Rodeo, California. So here you go. Clay is asking, did you hear about the woman that called her brother in New York from New Zealand to warn about the Twin Towers because they are a day behind? True story. Don't know if Americans like joking about that subject. I'm unsure. But I'll ask to Kiwi American, which is coming next week. So that's a perfect transition. Speaking of America, here you go. I was trying to find a way to transition to this. So what about that? Let's hear from a lady called Kiwi American. That's going to be our guest next week for the live session, replacing the great irreplaceable Laura.
Ooh.
Summer holidays almost here. 3 things that I recommend you definitely check out if you are traveling around New Zealand this summer. One of my favorite places to visit is the Coromandel area. Anywhere there, go there. But when you're there, you need to check out Cereal Griller. It is the best cheeseburger that I've ever had in New Zealand. Now, I've had lots of good cheeseburgers, and don't freak out, but this one, the best. If you've never been to Waiheke Island, go there. It's just off of Auckland, and it's amazing. Get a little scooter, go around town, go to the wineries. Oh my goodness, Waiheke Island, highly recommend. And number 3, Whauriki Beach in the South Island. So just all the way to the top, go to Nelson, go all the way up to Farewell Spit, go to Whauriki Beach. It is the most stunning beach, in my opinion. Have I seen every beach in New Zealand? No, but I love this one. And December 12th at 8 a.m., I'm joining the New Zealand Pocket Guide, and we are talking about...
All right, guys. No, now this is it. And the mic was on. Just saying.
I just whispered it.
Yeah, cool. So that lovely lady is going to be joining me for the next live session. She will replace Laura. So she lives in Wellington. She has a family of many. Believe it or not, she has 4 kids, and she's been in New Zealand for about between 4 and 6 years. I can't remember what's what, but yeah. So she's pretty popular on TikTok and on YouTube, so it's gonna be a fun time hanging out together. So yeah, look forward to that. Sharpen your questions if you have any questions about comparing maybe the US and New Zealand. If you guys have extra questions, Kaylo, Anthony, I know you're from the US and you're coming all the time. If you do have like US specific questions, make sure to join for the next live session and ask her all the questions. And if you are watching this live session and do have some questions for Tara from Kiwi Americans, make sure to put them in the comments of this video. I will check them out, I will print them, and I will have them ready for her next week. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And Kaylo is from Orange County, Anthony. Isn't it like a series about Orange County? Isn't it like a cop show? Like a reality TV
Isn't
cop
there
shows?
like a cop show about every single like
Yeah.
state in the US?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was a cop show. I don't know. I can't recall that. Anyway.
The OC. Isn't that what that is? The OC. Does that stand for Orange County?
Maybe. Is it what the OC is? Tell us.
Yeah.
Na,
It
na,
might
na,
be.
na, 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 na.
As you can see, we're more experts in New Zealand, not in the US. So that's why we need Kiwi American on this show to just, help out with that sort of thing.
Yeah. So if you do have some question for Tara, if you want to hang out for over an hour with Tara next week, seriously, join us. It's going to be heaps of fun. For one, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Joey says, do I get a postcard, by the way?
I'll have to look on the Patreon. Basically, once you are subscribing on Patreon, it kind of tells me which perks you have. Is your pledge level includes a postcard? Does it include a postcard or not? I can't recall, but we'll check that out during the extra live session. So yeah, we have an extra live session afterwards. Remind me and we check that out together.
Yes.
I just prepared one to write. I didn't want to write like
Spend all afternoon or all morning doing Christmas cards to everybody. I mean, that's usually boring enough as someone doing that. But
I
yeah,
enjoy doing it.
watching someone actually do that online, I mean, whew.
Clay is congratulating me for my good segue. Listen, you handed this one to me. That was actually just perfect. It's like
No, thank you, Clay.
I know. It's kind of great mind think alike right here. That's pretty good. I was looking for a segue, so here you go. Now, what is load shedding according to Violet?
Okay,
Laura?
so here we go. The answer from Violet saying, load shedding is the same as a blackout. In short, our electricity has been switched off for the whole town. So does it continue? No. Cool.
So they just cut the power off. What?
So we are having load shedding here. Okay, so you're basically having a blackout in your town. Okay. And it's called load shedding.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. So in New Zealand, they have something which is semi-similar to that. So if you are interested about learning about the power system in New Zealand, so one of the things that is happening sometimes is when, especially in winter, when there is a big draw of power into the country, there is something called load control, which basically allows some power companies to reduce the amount of power that is delivered to each household. And that's why some of the households are wired slightly bit differently. So for example, in our house, the first thing that will go out will be the hot water cylinder, because it's something that you use a little bit less. So for example, in winter, when you know it's going to be a really, really cold night, and you know, there is the risk of something, you just take your shower a little bit earlier. So, you know, you take your shower at 5 p.m. rather than taking it at like 8 or 7. And therefore you can get a hot shower just in case there is some load control. It happens very rarely. It probably happens about 2 to 3 times per year where we live. And usually you get a little bit of a warning either on an app or, you know, through social media and everything like that. So you kind of know that's happening. But that doesn't really cut off the power of everybody, like all in one, you know, all in one go. You will just have selected services unavailable. And if you do need power for like medical reasons and everything like that, you are not on that grid. You are, you know, they can't cut your power off, for instance, you know, for life support and all these kind of things, or if you are a person with disabilities, all these kind of things, they don't do that to you. And sometimes, however, there is, you know, problem, and then there is a part of the country which is running out of power, and then there is like. So that has happened once last year. Last winter, so literally a few months ago. So that only happened once. So it's a very, very rarity here in New Zealand. Here you go. A bit of an insight about life in New Zealand. I know that was unwarranted, unasked. But I thought, like, you know, since we're talking about load control, why not? Here you go. What is Ross saying?
Ross is saying Tara is awesome.
Tara is awesome. So that's going to be our first one, meeting her in person. She actually reached out and she was like, hey, Robin, you know, I'd like to hang out and I'd like to do some videos together and everything. I was like, you know what? Come and hang out with us. So I organized the stay. She's literally staying at the neighbor's house. And yeah, we'll spend basically about 3 days together. We're going to record some videos. We're going to do some work together, which is going to be quite fun. We may have some more in-depth collabs coming up. And yeah, then before she leaves, just before a big road trip, she decided to hang out with you guys, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm expecting, guys, a lot of people turning up for that next live session. So show up. It'd be fun. Let's give her a good time.
So Anthony and Kayla are talking about where they're from in California, and then we have Anthony saying, hey, watch it, I hate Christmas time because I have to write out 15 Christmas cards for the family members, so my arm gets tired this month.
You know what you should do, right? You should write one postcard and send it in an envelope with a bunch of white stickers. And on that postcard, you just write one word. And then the next person that receives it need to put the white sticker where the address and the stamp is, at the stamp, at the address, write the next word, and you pass it along around the family of 15. And at the end, you have one person that has a card from all 15 of you guys, and each of you only have to write one card and one word. That saves you a lot of time. And that saves you a lot of stamps rather than exchanging all that. So do that. That'd be fun.
Nice. Nice tips here.
There you go. My tip on optimizing, and you know what? That could make things fun.
We actually have Kiwi Americans on the live chat right now saying, looking forward to joining you next week.
Who is she? What is she doing here? Get out of here. Hey, Tara, how are you doing? Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if you saw, but just a few seconds ago, we just played a video. So yeah, Tara is going to be hanging out with us. So yeah, she's in the live chat right now. If you want to ask her things, you absolutely can.
Yeah, so we have Joey saying, can't remember, but I better get a super epic card. Lol, I'm dead set missing New Zealand.
Yeah, well, listen. There is a lot of people missing New Zealand right now, and this is something that we just received so many messages about. So if that is any help to you, Joey, you are absolutely not alone. I've seen, especially like, you know, since basically December has started, and we literally, here in New Zealand, we're only the 5th, right? So for you guys, probably only the 4th. We start already seeing that increase of messages of people saying they really do miss New Zealand. So yeah, I expect that to be even more extreme as December keeps on going. So you're definitely not alone, Joey. But you know, I have planned a really cool game for you guys during the next, the Patreon live session. It's all at the ready. I hope that you guys have your brains sharp And yeah, we also have some dreaming to do since Tamo's itinerary is going to be on the agenda as well. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. So we have Kalo saying, Real Housewives of OC. Yes, that's us.
That doesn't sound like a show that we would ever watch, but okay.
And also saying, are Christmas cookies a thing in New Zealand? I don't think there's really a traditional Christmas cookie in New Zealand.
Sure.
And also, I personally do not know what an American Christmas cookie is.
Yeah, but I give you something. I'm actually going to write it down. And Kelo, you better show up on the next live session when we're going to have Kiwi American. But I'm going to write it down. I'm going to ask what are like the different Christmas,
traditional food.
traditions and everything between the US and New Zealand. So
Yeah.
different Christmas. So you
Yeah,
can keep...
yeah. So, but I can say what New Zealanders do have as like traditional food on Christmas Day, and one thing that they have is something called pavlova, which is a dessert, which is mostly meringue with nice whipped cream and fresh fruit on top, which is really nice and light, especially considering in New Zealand Christmas falls when it's in summer. So usually the desserts aren't quite as hearty. You don't really feel like having hearty meals that are going to fill you up too much, because combine that with the heat, it's usually more uncomfortable. So
Speak for yourself. I do like a hearty meal. Thank you very
yes,
much.
but so that's why like pavlova's kind of more, people want to have pavlova more on Christmas because it's usually a light dessert that is nice and refreshing on a hot summer's day. So yeah, that's what New Zealanders do have rather than Christmas cookies.
Clay says it's also known as ripple control. So what I was talking about the power here. And he says you almost sounded like a plumber. They're talking about the tactics of HWC and shower time. So hot water control, I mean, and shower time. Call me if you want an apprenticeship. That is absolutely funny because we actually did learn that from the plumber that came and redid some of the pipes in when we did the bathroom over there. So yeah, literally we learned that from the plumber. I guess it's like the thing that you plumber like to talk about because yeah, we had no idea, right? Like before I was living in Auckland and obviously in other cities and everything, I never experienced the fact that power could not be. It sounds silly, right? But it's something you take I have in my life always taken for granted. It's like I'm always going to have power. I'm always going to turn on the light. I'm always going to be able to use my TV, my this, my that, And so yeah, turned out there are some tactics to be having for hot water. So here you go.
So Joey says it's the 5th of December. Remember, we're only 2 hours behind.
That's true.
Yeah, and then he says pavlova. Good times, good taste.
Yeah, and also I'm glad that Joey, an Australian, is not claiming the pavlova for themselves. Pavlovas is a Kiwi that has been settled. It's a Kiwi dish. So here you go. Kalo says ginger cookies or sugar cookies with frosting are the main ones.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me show you, Kalo. I don't know if you were here when we talked about the Patreons, but let me show you what one of our Patreon has baked, which is pretty cool. They share that in the group right now. No, that's not correct. Let me do this.
Anytime
and
now.
that. Yep, here you go. Look at that. Kalo, isn't it the best gingerbread cookie you've ever seen in your life? Next to Laura, over there. So that was made by Tamo, which is one of our Patreon supporter. He shared that on the secret Facebook group for our Patreon. So yeah.
And the secret is out.
The secret is out. Cookies are good.
That does look good. That's very professional looking.
I know. It looks really awesome.
You know what? I feel like, gingerbread is quite a Christmassy thing, but have you noticed it a lot in New Zealand? I feel like I see it
I see, like gingerbread cookie, first, I never seen anyone as good as this one. Any of them as good. But what I've noticed is there are a lot in like retail store and everything. So I feel like stores are trying to make it a thing, but I've pretty much never been offered a gingerbread cookie. Or I never got tempted to buy one for one. But even our friends and everything like that, they all bring like actual real cookies or cakes and something like that.
Yeah.
I've never been given a gingerbread cookie. Which is a good thing because I don't like gingerbread cookie. That's the wrong type of cookies. But I haven't been given a gingerbread cookie. I actually don't think they are. Sorry, let me get rid of the cookies. But yeah, here you go. I don't think they are a big thing here. But I have to say, seeing those pictures of it. I would eat the one I just showed you guys.
Yeah.
I would eat this one.
If you guys want to actually see what are sort of common foods in New Zealand or foods that you should try in New Zealand, we do have a big, long article on nzpocketguide.com, which is the 25 New Zealand foods you have to try in New Zealand. And we do include like the snacks and the different types of, food and cookies, like New Zealand cookies and stuff that you should try while you're over here. And I'm adding to that list all the time. We've got some more to add to it soon. So go check that out at nzpocketguide.com. It's free.
So this live chat has turned into a bunch of ravenous, sugar-hungry watchers.
Mouth-watering.
Yes, so we have...
Joey Kayla was saying, wow, looks amazing about the...
Yeah, so Joey's talking about pavlova. Kayla is talking about gingerbread. Tamo, which is the guy that made those gingerbread cookies, that was pointing there. I need to realize that I need to point that way to show that. He says Christmas without gingerbread cookies is half Christmas.
Yes.
Interesting statement right here. I say Christmas without too much food is half Christmas.
Yeah.
Kaylo says, whoa, that looks amazing. So, and then she's asked, have you heard of Seas candies, chocolate and truffle? Can't have Christmas without them. No, I don't think I've ever heard.
Seas candy.
No, I don't know what. Don't even know what it may even look like or be. Oh. So no.
So that means that we actually haven't really experienced Christmas in our lives.
No, it looks
because
like
we've never had those. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Just literally, we never had Christmas, Laura.
Oh wow.
But I now have to obviously look at it. I have to admit, between Laura and I think I have the sweeter tooth. I am really, really into sweets, and I can hardly control myself with it. Until Laura starts punching me and stealing my cookies, then I control myself. But that's basically it. So I usually am the muncher. So I'm definitely going to look at what those Seas candies are. But I don't think they're available in New Zealand.
I haven't seen it around. So I guess not.
But if you guys are from the US, it's probably Peeps season soon, isn't it? Those literally just lumps of sugar. It's probably Peeps soon. Okay, I remember from my times in the US. What is Kaylo saying?
Kaylo says, also, you guys don't put up Christmas lights, do you? Or is that just an American thing? A few New Zealanders do put up Christmas lights. It's people put up their own choices. Usually people do decorate their own homes and things around the Christmas period, which we should be doing very soon, because it is like a UK tradition as well. That's why I like to do it. But we have seen there are a few homes where they do put up the Christmas lights and stuff. Yeah. And
there is a street in Auckland, not too far from Ponsonby, basically, somewhere in Ponsonby, which is a suburb of Auckland, and where that street is quite famous for having many of the houses to actually literally decorate their home, and so parents walk there with the kids. But that's literally one street in the whole country. It's quite it's not really a big deal as you can see in the US, which a lot of people are decorating the outside of their homes.
But cities, like the city councils and stuff, they will decorate like the main streets with Christmas decorations and things like that. So you'll still, like, when you're out in cities and towns or doing shopping, like, of course, shops like any sort of excuse to sort of do a sale or decorations or whatever. So you have you still have like the Christmas music playing in shops. You have them usually putting decorations up and street lights and stuff in towns. And in Auckland, there's a really big scary Santa which they put up in the middle of the town.
Is it back, or is it no more? I think they retired it last year.
Oh, hopefully, because that was terrifying.
It was the creepy Santa. We did talk about it, actually. I did show it to you guys in one video and everything.
But there used to be this huge Santa which would take up like several stories of a high-rise building, and it would be sort of looking over the main street of Auckland, and it was very, very scary. But maybe it's gone.
Usna says, hello from India. How are you doing, Usna?
Hello.
Then we have Nathan that says, have a great day. See you next week. It looks like Nathan has to rush to work at the nice local supermarket.
Cool.
Clay, which is still so... We are 48 minutes in this live session, and Clay hasn't got a shot yet. Did you notice that, Clay? I mean, you probably have. You are feeling very weird right now.
I was going to say, this probably explains his next comment, which is, why has nobody mentioned brandy snaps filled with green?
Of course. I mean,
So,
what
yeah,
else?
That's probably why it's on his mind, because he's like, I haven't had like my shots today from all the questions. So
What's the alcohol that you put in hot cocoa?
you put like Bailey's.
Yeah, Bailey's in hot cocoa, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
I bet that's something.
Eggnog. Does anybody have eggnog at Christmas? I don't think I've ever tried eggnog, but
That is the worst tasting thing. There is a reason why it's only sold at Christmas, because nobody wants it at any other time of the year. Eggnog is. I have strong feelings about eggnogs.
I just like the name eggnog.
It is a
Just
fun
sounds-
name. It is a
sounds
fun
funny.
name. Extreme Talata is leaving us to go to work. You have fun, mate, and we see you next week. Thank you so much for popping in every week. Got to love that. Clay says Dunedin has a Google Map light of Dunedin on Facebook page that shows the location of houses that have lights or to do a walkthrough. That's
House
pretty cool.
setups. Ooh.
That's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
So does randomly the council will put your address online and say people show up because their Christmas tree
I'm
is nice?
sure people put their house to the council. Surely the Dunedin council isn't going around scouting out the best houses. Surely that's not what happens.
Yeah, I feel like
Go round to this guy's house.
Yeah.
Go in, see if they're at home. It looks really good through the window.
Tamo is pretty good at making gingerbread cookie. Go to his place and ask for cookies.
Yeah.
Send the whole town there. I think there must be a system where you have to agree to.
Yeah,
that.
you probably have, if you want to nominate your house as I don't know, something. I don't know. We're obviously just speculating right now, but we're just,
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea.
But yeah, that's cool. That's cool for locals. Yeah, that's fun. And Clay says, it's a strange feeling for 8:45 on a Sunday. And he also agrees with me on eggnog. So here you go. There is a limit to what Clay will drink.
Wow.
We didn't know we'd reach
found
that.
it. We
but
found
yeah,
it.
there is somewhat of a ceiling right here
Yeah.
for Clay. Charlie says, hello, it's me, Charlie. How are you doing, Charlie? Thank you for popping in. How are things going for you, Charlie? There's been a while you haven't hanged out with us. What is Usna saying?
Husna says, guys, it's 1:15 a.m. in India. By watching this live session, I'm feeling hungry, mouth-watering.
Well,
Sorry about that.
Is it mouth-watering because of the eggnog and the gingerbread cookies? Are you having like a 12 years old Christmas needs and wants right here? Is that what's happening? Because otherwise, can I suggest you try a pavlova, which is delicious and yum. Okay, what else do we have?
Kalo says, what's a New Zealand Christmas dinner look like?
Well, to be quite fair, I have had massive varieties of different Christmas dinners, so I will say the generic thing, which is kind of, it's whatever you decide. It's whatever you make it like. But honestly, what I've experienced the most with locals, it's actually a barbecue by the beach. Literally, that's usually what it is. Or on the deck of your home, it's like kind of outdoor. You get like the two older dudes that just crammed around the barbecue because they don't want to let anyone else nearby. That's their thing. They're having beers and churning out, like sausages and meats and everything. In most of the remote places or kind of places where we live, it's usually a home kill. So you will have, they will go hunt like the week or before, something like that. And so it will be whole this kind of fresh meat. And you'd have that. You obviously will have a pavlova. I feel like this is the time of the year where everybody actually go through the hassle of making a pavlova. It's meringue, it's cream and everything. It's a bit more involved and everything. So you'd have a pavlova for dessert, and you'd have barbecue, like those burgers, those sausages and hot dogs. Sometimes, a couple of times I had like skewer meat, like
like
where
a kebab type.
Yeah, kebab kind of meat and everything with capsicums and stuff like that. One time I've had kumara, which is like sweet potatoes, but like kind of like foil in foil. How do you do that? Normal potatoes, jacket potatoes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So
like
they did jacket potato with kumara, which was
baked
potato with kumara. So one time I've had that. A big salad. It's summer, right? So it's all about like a light beer in the sun. Salad, light food, barbecue. So that's what I've experienced. What about you?
Yeah. It usually depends where whoever's hosting the Christmas stuff, like where their sort of heritage and family are from. So if there's quite like a lot of like English sort of heritage people in New Zealand, they do sell like turkeys and stuff in the supermarkets in New Zealand. So yeah, some people might go the traditional route of a turkey dinner, roast and all that. But yeah, it's more like we also have been doing Christmas dinner with some Filipinos before, so we've had Filipino dinner. So it really, because New Zealand has it's a melting pot. There's a lot of different cultures and nationalities of where people have come from, like their families have come from. So it usually depends really on sort of their family traditions as well. But yeah, mostly what Robin said. But I feel like barbecue is usually the sort of go-to.
It's the go-to, yeah.
Yeah, if the weather's good. Because sometimes, it can be rainy on Christmas and that's never good barbecue weather. So that might be... Or people will just huddle under an umbrella anyway. But yeah, barbecue seems to be the main thing that's happened on Christmas.
Indeed. And actually, let's ask some of the locals to tell us what you guys usually do for Christmas and everything. I may kind of make that a big topic for not the next live session, since we have our guest, Kiwi American, but the live session afterwards, which is going to be on the 19th of December, so about a week before Christmas, so like that we can all chat about what we do for Christmas in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Cool. Clay says you self-nominate. Oof, I'm gonna just start speaking with the correct words right here. You self-nominate to the page, so they don't. The district council of Dunedin doesn't send a bunch of people to your house unprompted. Says it's getting better each year because now neighbors are starting to compete with each other. It also makes good night out with the kids driving all across the town to find them. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I can imagine that would be like neighbors do like to be quite competitive with things. So yeah, I can imagine that's going to get out of control, and then the whole city is going to be lit up like a Christmas tree.
So Charlie says, have you ever climbed Mount Narahoi?
I personally have not climbed Mount Narahoi, and usually there's good reasons kind of not to as well.
So we went literally all the way. So we obviously did the Tongariro crossing multiple times, went all the way underneath, looked at it, but we haven't climbed it. And do you want to explain why we haven't?
So one of the reasons is because it's sort of a little bit of for a lack of a better word, an insult to the local Maori culture, where it's actually the summit of Narahoi is a sort of sacred place. So they kind of, they're not really super happy that people go and climb up to the top. You have the whole sort of Tongariro crossing, which is it's a track that's sort of well organized, well maintained for people to sort of go and check that out. And they sort of started taking down the signs to show where you can go up to Mount Narahoi, and also because that Tongariro crossing hike does take, it takes like the common person maybe about 6 to 8 hours to do, and you should do it kind of slowly and take in the amazing views of Mount Narahoi itself. That's kind of like the approach that we like to take when we do the Tongariro crossing. So yeah, each time we've gone and done it a few times now, we've never really felt too compelled to go hike up there, just because we know a few of the reasons, like people might not want people to do that. So, but just even seeing Mount Narahoi you get really close to it when you're doing the Tongariro crossing, you get amazing views, and that is sort of like the iconic sort of feature it is in itself. You will still get amazing views of the surrounding area from different areas of the Tongariro National Park and on the Tongariro crossing. So yeah, that is a long-winded reason for why we haven't done it, but yeah, so we can't really tell you much more about what it's like to do. But it's very steep, a lot of scree, we've heard, a lot of people told us about it. There's, a lot of loose rocks and stuff, so be careful. If you're really, really, really fit, then you'll probably be able to do it. But if you're not so fit, you'll probably find it quite hard.
And the follow-up, Clay says, there used to be a track up Mount Narahoi. It looked pretty active, live events when we passed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he's surprised.
Yeah.
All right, sorry guys, I was just putting the link up for the Patreon live session on their live chat. I just realized I forgot doing it, so now it's done. Okay, where are we? Benjamin says, I am from Ghana, holding the NZDT tourist visa. Can I travel to New Zealand on a cruise? Well, at this stage, you will have to deal with the MIQ system, so you probably will want to wait a little bit, especially if you're coming on a cruise. That's probably just for a holiday. So I will say wait until all of that is over, which is going to be in the latter part of 2022. However, if you are coming to New Zealand for any other reasons or anything like that, you're more than welcome to contact Immigration New Zealand at immigration.govt.nz. There is a link in the description of this video, and you'll get all the information you need because they are pretty awesome. What is Kalo saying?
Kalo says, do you guys hang stockings above the fireplace and put up a Christmas tree?
We don't have a fireplace, so that makes it a little tricky.
Yeah.
But we do have two small stockings, one with an R on it and one with the L on it. So sometimes we hang it somewhere around the house. It actually changes every year where we hang it.
Yeah.
But
So what we kind of do, because the thing with Christmas decorations and stuff, I feel like you sort of accumulate those over a lot of years. But for Robin and I, we've only sort of lived in New Zealand I've only lived here for about 7 years now, so I haven't really accumulated that many Christmas items because, of course, as you guys know, we've spent a lot of time traveling around the country.
And that's not weirdly enough, acquiring a Christmas tree is not really your priority when you're on the road, is it?
When you're traveling around a lot, you don't really acquire loads of Christmas decorations. But since we've moved into the house we're in now, we have got some small Christmas trees that are just like, they're more like table decorations, but we still use them as Christmas trees, and we usually decorate the house plants.
Yes, we actually do. I forgot that we do that. Yeah, there you go.
And also my family from back home, they have in the past years like sent the odd sort of Christmas decoration as a Christmas gift, so they've become like part of the house plant decorations when we do that. But we have a couple of fairy lights as well. But in other homes, interestingly, most New Zealand homes have wood burner fireplaces rather than than old-fashioned fireplaces where they're brick and they'll have like the fire the sill where you can actually put the Christmas stockings. But because that's only in like really, really old homes, so I actually imagine that it's maybe Clay can tell us, because he has kids. Does he have stockings for his kids? Or some people put it at the end of the bed, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Charlie says, that's funny. My best friend is Filipino. I live in Inglewood, Taranaki. Our community has a lot of Filipino people. So you are very familiar with what Filipino tend to do for Christmas, which is way too much food. They do not stop cooking until literally half the country can be fed. It's absolutely insane. I'm not complaining, but damn, they do like to make really, really large table, which, it's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Where are we on?
Kalo says, my parents got married on Christmas Eve, so we have a Christmas Eve party every year and we open presents on Christmas morning.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
That makes Christmas really special.
And also a thing actually that Europeans do, like that you do like in France, you were celebrating Christmas more on Christmas Eve. That's what you said, right? So, like, a lot of, you realise that once you, hang out with a lot of different people from around Europe, a lot of people actually do all their opening the presents and stuff like that on Christmas Eve and the Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to talk. I can just tell you what he does. and then he found it kind of weird that I was like, no, you do all that on Christmas Day. So, different for everyone, I guess.
I just do facial expressions. That's what I provide.
As you can tell, I can talk about Christmas all day.
All right. Tamo says, well, it looks like I have to cross out Mount Narrowroy ID, doing only the Tongariro crossing then. Thank you for the info. You're very welcome, mate. And we'll talk about it later during that live session. You guys get ready for an awesome Patreon live session. Where we Kalo says, do you visit family often? I haven't visited home for a very, very long time right now, and with COVID, Laura, are you visiting family this time? Do you want to go to COVID with England today?
Often is a strong word. So in short, unfortunately not. That is like obviously there is the downside of living so far across on the other side of the world. But, sometimes I'm just lucky to have been able to choose my own sacrifices.
Filipino people have a lot of food and massive Christmas party.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that's literally what I was talking about, Charlie. damn, they do make a lot of food. Clay says, I have a modern fire and converted the brickwork, but kept the marble piece purely to put soundbar and stockings.
Nice.
So for 335 years, the day of the year, you put in the soundbar and then you remove it for those 30 days of December and you put the stocking. Is that what's happening? That is quite funny. And so if you have the soundbar on the marble work, do you have the TV literally where the fire used to be? That'd be kind of cool.
We have Stanislav saying, what smaller towns would you recommend over Auckland?
Pretty much all of them. Okay, all right.
No, we're not dissing Auckland. Auckland's a cool, large city, but it doesn't represent the real New Zealand, and that's why we kind of say any other town in New Zealand is typically a more New Zealand experience.
So I'm going to pick a town for you, and I'm going to pick the town of Motueka. The reason why I will pick Motueka for you, obviously I could start listing a lot of different towns, right? And actually, as I talk about Motueka, let me use for the first time as a useful tool, I will use my map right here. That is happening right here, guys. 3, 2, 1, transition! So I will suggest to you the town of Motueka. The reason why I would like to suggest the town of Motueka is because it is, well, it's not here, but it's there. Here you go. It is just right there. It is just at the edge of the beautiful Albert Tasman National Park. It's on top of the Southern End, and it is just super accessible. So from Motueka, first you have an amazing backyard. There is this amazing national park, which is the Albert Tasman National Park. There is the Kahurangi National Park, which is not too far as well. So you get beach, forest, and all that. It's really, really awesome, and it's one of the sunniest places for in terms of sun hours in New Zealand. Second, you are not too far from the Nelson Lake, which are a little bit south from Motueka right here, which offers some amazing, more alpine kind of hiking. And you do have some ski field just a little bit more south, so we're talking about 2.5 to 3 hours. So you have beach, summer, ski field, you have all of that, and also you're not too far to Nelson, which has a semi-major airport in New Zealand, so that will allow you to be able to fly and go pretty much everywhere you want. Or you can do a short drive to go to Pickerton, take the ferry, and be in Wellington in no time. Or you obviously can explore by car the whole of the South Island. So this is why I would pick the small town of Motueka for you, Stanislav. Laura, would you like to pick a town? And I'll show it on this beautiful map.
The town I would like to pick is Hokitika, which is also on the South Island. And it is, well, it's not as sunny as Motueka. In fact, on the west coast, it's one of the rainiest places in New Zealand. But don't let that put you off, because Hokitika actually has some... The town itself is very fun. They have lots of really artsy places to go check out. They have a little Kiwi conservation house there. They have a glass blowing studio. They have art galleries. They have loads of greenstone carving is kind of what the town is famous for. Lots of so the town itself has a lot going on in there, and it has that small town vibe as well, which is very New Zealand like. And it's also situated on the beach, and it has a beautiful beach where people do driftwood art and that sort of thing. And it's one of the best places to see the sunset in New Zealand. So you'd get to go and do that. But also, within sort of a short drive of Hokitika, there's lots of really outstanding sort of places of natural beauty around there. There's the Hokitika Gorge, which is a very famous short walk to do with beautiful blue river water and in a nice sort of, river gorge. And there's a glowworm dell and, lots of stuff going on in Hokitika. Definitely would recommend that one.
Here you go, Stanislav. Those are the two places we would recommend. Look at that. We got to use the map. I'm pretty excited about that. That was awesome. Okay. All right. We are coming to the end of this live session. So we're having Clay that tells us about the TV. It says, yes, it's above the mantle fire. With the fire below, and it has a fan so the TV doesn't turn liquid. Yeah. Stanislav says, I'm really glad you both are on the South Island and both are connected with nature, as I am the guy who likes backpacking tourism over the restaurants. Good.
Yes.
Well, Stanislav, here you go. I hope that you did like those two suggestions. And all right. I'm so glad we got to use the map, guys. I just want to point it out. I'm really, really glad.
Charlie says another great town in NZ is Okato. They have a beautiful scenic beach.
Here you go, another locals
There's
recommendation for you,
yeah.
Stanislav.
What was the poll
Oh yeah.
results today?
Oops. Let's go back to it. Okay, the poll results. We are gonna click on the poll here and we're gonna end the poll. Okay, so 34% of you guys have received something from New Zealand before, and 66% of you guys have not received anything from New Zealand. So here you go. That is a good reason for you guys to maybe join our Patreon. We have plenty of perks. It's a good way to support us. We have some amazing supporters. We do a secret Facebook group where we all chat together and we exchange photos of awesome stuff. We can help you with your itinerary. You can get one-on-one sessions with us. We have some PDF guides of plenty of places in New Zealand. And we have an extra live session, which is coming up literally right after this one, and much, much more. So if anything, just check it out, see what there is there, see what all the fuss is about, and see if you want to join us for an awesome month. And also, you're not charged until like the first of the month. So the beginning of the month is the best time of the year to join Patreon. So here you go.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us for this awesome live session. We're going to wrap up with a question that Clay is saying, because if I don't say it, you don't get to drink, Clay. So Clay is asking, when will the borders open? Can you believe, Clay, we did a whole hour without receiving this question even once? That is insane.
Wow.
So yeah, but you can have your shot now. All right. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join us for the next live session, as we will be joined by the fantastic Tara from Kiwi Americans. So yeah, we're going to be talking all about, well, first like families in New Zealand, as well as, America in New Zealand, all these kind of things. It's going to be heaps of fun. So sharpen up all your questions. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to wrap up that live session by playing again her video with her favorite things to do in New Zealand. All right, guys. Bye-bye. See you next week. Check out all the videos we do in the meantime. And you are awesome.
Summer
See you next
holidays
week.
almost here. 3 things that I recommend you definitely check out if you are traveling around New Zealand this summer. One of my favorite places to visit is the Coromandel area. Anywhere there, go there. But when you're there, you need to check out Cereal Griller. It is the best cheeseburger that I've ever had in New Zealand. Now, I've had lots of good cheeseburgers, and don't freak out, but this one, the best. If you've never been to Waiheke Island, go there. It's just off of Auckland, and it's amazing. Get a little scooter, go around town, go to the wineries. Oh my goodness, Waiheke Island, highly recommend. And number 3, Whauriki Beach in the South Island. So just all the way to the top, go to Nelson, go all the way up to Farewell Spit, go to Whauriki Beach. It is the most stunning beach, in my opinion. Have I seen every beach in New Zealand? No, but I love this one. And December 12th at 8 a.m., I'm joining the New Zealand Pocket Guide, and we are talking about Travel New Zealand. So check it.
All right, guys, join us next week when we're going to have Tara as a special guest. Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Toodles.